Now, Dave, a question.
Wow,
this many shows, Radio City, unprecedented for a comedian, yes?
Hey, this is Dave Chappelle live right now. He's talking about being attacked on stage. He's talking about working with Chris Rock here soon. And I just thought I would play it. Pepper, you came on before I even went live. But anyways, I just wanted to listen to this and share it. It's live right now. Dave Chappelle is from my area. We've seen him out in public a couple times. Hi, Republican Ash.
This is pretty cool. Yeah. And is it extra special that it's Radio City? There's a certain aura of Radio City.
That venue does mean a lot to me. You know, like the first time that I did a show that was larger than a comedy club was at Radio City. I was 19. I was opening for Aretha Franklin. And then I didn't come back to Radio City till whatever that run we did 3 years ago, 2-3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a special place, man. It is.
It's a lot of people don't realize just how long your run in comedy was. We had I interviewed David Allen Greer a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about you doing you guys being on the same shows when you were like 16 years old, 15 years old, right?
Yeah, man.
I'm
like, because I was so much younger than my peer group, you know, I've been around for a long time, but, you know, also I go through this thing where I feel like I'm older than I am because my peer group is like a decade ahead of me.
Well, I was gonna say, David Allen Greer, for example, you've known him for 30 years or whatever, he's 58 or something like that.
Yeah. It's like that.
Damn, you just threw 58 on? You sure he's 58?
He was shockingly old. When he told me, I was like, whoa, maybe 60.
Shock. That's not shock.
I was shocked. That David Allen Greer
was 62. I remember one time I was sitting with Eddie Murphy watching television and like Sanford and Son was on. And he goes, I am as old now as Red Fox was on the first season of Sanford and Son. I was like, oh my God. He goes, I am as old now as Carol Connor was on the first season of All in the Family.
Jeez.
Yeah, but Eddie look like Eddie. He still look the same.
He really does.
Yeah, we eat better, or like even
more money.
Yeah.
Definitely more money.
Yeah.
Definitely more money. Oxygen chambers, nutritionists.
No, he's right though. He's right. You know, people of affluence don't age the same way as the people. You know what I mean?
But I would say, Dave, you don't strike me as necessarily a nutritionist kind of guy.
Oh, absolutely not. but I live well.
You do live very well.
Yeah, and I have effectively minimized my stress.
He lives in about 30 minutes from my house.
Factors are things.
Yellow Springs, Ohio.
Maybe not the length of my life, but who knows? I can get by a bus, catch some kind of wild cold or Zika or something. I don't know what's going to happen. So I just don't worry about it. I just chill and do shows that I dream about. It's like a fantasy show. I'm like living the dream.
Well, you know that our good friend Cypher Sounds often tells me about you. His favorite thing about being around you is that you live the ultimate life in that you do exactly what you want to do on the timeline you want to do it.
Well, it sure looks that way.
It really does. You go to all the fights. You love fights, right? So you always go to all the fights. Will you be at McGregor or Mayweather?
Okay, that fight I might not actually attend.
Because you're worried it could like devolve into like a Bo Galata riot or something?
No, because it has all the suspense of a Globetrotter game.
So are you going to watch it at all?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
All right, wait. Let's start with Saturday. You guys are both in the building in Brooklyn, yes?
Yes.
Dave, you went. Laura, you went.
Yes.
Laura, how did you feel about the fight?
Well, I told you guys, see, we had just had the interview with Adrian Broner here, so I felt a little different about him. Like, I felt sorry for him. If everybody looks at me like I'm crazy because I felt sorry for him, why? Because I felt like when we brought up the mental health issues and then, you know, the way we were just reacting. And
you guys brought up mental health issues?
Well, we had to.
He tried to commit suicide. He put a gun on the ground and was bugging out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I just kind of felt like you're talking about how so many people depend on him, and I feel like everybody's using him, and I don't know. I had this character in my head, okay?
You guys went that deep on morning radio?
When?
All the time. People were driving their kids to school and all that.
They gotta learn, man. They gotta learn.
When I was at the fight, I was feeling different. I didn't know that the whole entire Barclays Center hated him. Nobody was rooting for him, and he lost the entire fight.
Well, I wouldn't say nobody was rooting.
It was quiet in there, at least on my side.
It was quiet because, you know, the fight wasn't that eventful for a casual boxing fan. A real boxing fan is going to at least get caught up in the suspense of can these guys accomplish the things they're trying to accomplish within the parameters of given right. But a casual boxing fan doesn't understand, like, why are they punching each other?
At one point, Garcia was like, hit me, boom, 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 boom.
I did not hear him talking in there. Did you hear
I
Mike?
read his lips.
I've not seen Mike in there talking. Hit me, I'd say. Rocky dialogue.
So are you? You're not interested. You're not particularly interested or excited by Mayweather McGregor.
No, I didn't say that. I mean, it's exciting, but it's just like I'm not gonna go and. I mean, listen, man. Listen, Floyd Mayweather's probably training as we speak.
Yes.
And as he's training, you know what Conor McGregor's doing? Learning how to box.
Right.
So he can fight a guy that was born with boxing gloves on.
Right.
10-ounce gloves. So it's just like I just don't see how McGregor can do it.
And in your situation, when you go to a fight, you sit in the most expensive seats in the house. And are they always comped when you get those seats? So you sometimes have to pay, right?
Of course. Yeah.
So you have to weigh, if you're going to buy the most expensive ticket, is it worth it to drop $70,000 to go watch this fiasco?
Now, I will say about the McGregor-Mayweather fight that it's such a spectacle that in and of itself is worth seeing. That I feel like no matter what happens, Conor McGregor is a very big winner and talked himself into a lot of money. This is his first fight, and he gets to fight the very best. And I just feel like that's what the fight's going to look like.
Yeah, I agree with you. Do you, we got a little bit weirded out when the racial overtones have gotten a little.
You said it off the air earlier, but I'll say it. Boxing's racist and been racist a long time. I'm going with Floyd Mayweather just because he's black, not because I like him as a person. And I know he's a better fighter.
You know, I honestly, man, the racial overtone, I mean, for what I do, my ears are a lot less sensitive than most people's. And in my heart of hearts, I believe that these guys are great fighters. You know, McGregor's from a different genre of fighting, but it's not like I don't respect what he does. I just don't think he's as good at boxing.
Specifically,
Right. So a lot of people will say Floyd Mayweather should act a certain way because of his stature or his celebrity. And I propose that perhaps his excellence is his message because he's really, really good at boxing. Like in that circle square, he might be one of the most confident people on earth. When he's doing what he actually does, he's great. And life is complicated. Everyone messes up in life, but can't everyone box that good? And so I enjoy Floyd Mayweather. And I enjoy Conor McGregor. And I don't get bent out of shape about things he says, because I know he's getting ready to fight a guy that I'm sure he has to feel deep in his heart is going to whoop his ass. And it's a lot of money to take that ass whooping. I would let Floyd Mayweather beat me up for that kind of money. If he want to take a fight with me, I'd do it.
That would be.
You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Drum roll.
It would be slightly less competitive than what you're going to see on the 20th.
Coming to Netflix next, a Dave Chappelle special. Chappelle versus Mayweather.
I wouldn't even get my ass whooped out.
What? You just go down?
Yeah, as soon as I open the bell win, I just jump on the floor, count to 10, and walk to the back. Life goes on, man. That kind of ego.
Well, speaking of Netflix, were you happy with the way your specials were received?
That's a good question. You know what? To be honest, yeah, sure. I mean, the one thing about putting anything out is you can't control how it's going to be received. And I think people were, by and large, very fair and thoughtful about how it was received.
Are you working on another one?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Look out. There's another one coming soon.
Are these Netflix people around us as we speak?
No. But they are everywhere.
Dave, are you into the Jay-Z album?
444?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody's into that.
Everybody?
Well, you know, listen, man. I am 444. I'm turning 44, man. You know, this guy's saying stuff that I want to hear. And I can understand all the words.
So you're not a big fan of songs where you can't understand the words?
Oh, I didn't say that. I mean, but it's just like, it's just a record for a person of my time, man. This guy. And it's the first time I think that a guy of his age can make a relevant record. And it's fun to see a genre like hip hop be mature like this. This guy, Jay-Z is like, he's like a guy, he went to space and came back, bro. He's a billionaire from Brooklyn, from Morrissey. I appreciate that. It's fun to see that.
And we never knew that. Everyone thought hip hop was a young man's game because it hadn't been around long enough to allow people to age. But Hope could keep putting out albums like Bruce Springsteen or Paul Simon or anyone like that.
And to his credit, like for instance, if I had that kind of money, you would never see my ass again. I guarantee you, I would maybe do comedy in clubs or something, but I wouldn't necessarily be out here promoting anything.
I don't think, is he even promoting? He owns Tidal. He just throws it up on Tidal. Nobody's seen him talk to him nothing. I don't think he's with his babies. He's with the babies.
He's gonna go on tour when he wants to.
Of course.
Yeah, you make a good point. Yeah, I don't think I don't see
you would too. If you owned Netflix, you would put up a comedy special when you felt like it.
Or would I?
Or not. Or not.
No, I would, man. I mean, I just respect the fact that he's been so true to the game for so long.
How big a fan how early did you become a Hov fan? Because you're a real hip hop head. Were you on Reasonable Doubt like when it came out?
Reasonable Doubt was a big record, man. The Streets was watching. That was a big record. I mean, I remember all that stuff. It was dope. It was fun to watch. Back in those days, too, I used to see him around in New York. Like, if you go out at night, a couple spots, you always run into him. Like, during the ascent, you just see him. And he got his varsity jacket fairly early.
Yeah, legend status.
Yeah, fairly early. He went damn near straight to the Big Kids table.
Yeah, he did. He had a pretty quick. He had Big Kids table money early too. That helped.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when it was a big deal, he made $100,000 with your power?
Yes.
Yeah. Now look at him. What's 50 grand to a guy like him? Please remind him.
What other recent albums you've been sitting with, Dave?
That about a Kendrick record. That kid's doing it. That kid is the perfect reflection of many great influences. Like, when he's probably coming up listening to music, I think he had a good diet.
Yeah.
Because the way he refines it, I like him. He's fun to watch too.
Have you seen him live? Have you had a chance?
Well, do the BET Awards count?
Yeah.
Oh, and then he opened for Kanye that one running. I see him live.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, when he opened for Ye on was it Jesus?
Have you spent any time digesting the Hov lines on his album about Kanye?
No, you know what, man? I don't get lost in the woods trying to decipher Jay-Z lyrics. If I really, really want to know, I'll call somebody.
I was hoping he'd talk about that attack on the stage, but
hip-hop lyrics to me.
I don't know, but most if I could reach him, yes.
You had the chance to interview Kendrick for Interview Magazine. What was that like? And were you able to just talk to him about whatever you wanted?
Yeah, man, he wasn't a defensive dude, man. I think he understood I came in peace. I'm a fan of his, and I think the thing that I was impressed by him was that he sounded very introspective and thoughtful. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he puts it down. I think he stays in probably a creative zone. Guys, like, you can tell when you talk to guys sometimes, like, this guy's working through problems. They doesn't necessarily have to work. He's figuring it out.
Yeah.
And he's a smart dude, man. I enjoyed that conversation. Now, granted, when I spoke to him, I was in the back of a car on the road on my way to like dinner, and he was in the middle of God knows what. So, if I had in a perfect world, I would like to have sat down with him face to face and had more of a conversation like we're having now. Well, not like we're having now, but just actually talk. But he was very open, and especially considering we're on the phone, and there's a guy from Interview Magazine recording the conversation and all. You know what I mean? Those things, there's a lot of moving parts, and he never put his guards up. He didn't sound tired or evasive or anything. He just talked.
Do you believe in a lot of times in the hip hop conversation, people, of course, laud Kendrick for his lyrics, and me being the foremost to do that.
You're a nut hugger.
Me being the Kendrick nut hugger of a generation.
You hear that kid's going to school in the back of the car.
I've already learned that. But a lot of people then give Drake a hard time because of the thing that was brought out about the lyric writing, etc. Do you think when you talk about all-time greats, do you use that as a strike against Drake, or do you really consider Drake to be an all-time great as well?
These types of questions are tough. Listen, when it comes to art, right? Results matter. So if I listen to a Drake record and I like it, and then somebody comes behind that and starts telling me everything that's in the hot dogs. I ate the hot dog and I like it. It's done.
Right.
You know what I mean? However, if I'm making art, I would rather do it myself.
Got it.
That for me, part of it is like, what can I come up with? And I'm engaging these people. But I don't mind people that make their art via committee. If that's, I don't know what the deal is.
Because the results, like you said, the results matter.
I ate the hot dog. I like the hot dog. And it depends on how I'm using
Drake makes some damn good hot dogs.
Kosher dogs.
Yeah,
Now,
kosher. Yeah, that kosher dog.
Well, sure. Now,
It might out here not be. It may not be kosher.
are you talking about his circumcision?
That's what I mean.
I gotta tell you.
All right, guys, wait a minute. I'm going to step in here. I'm not willing to sit on the radio and let you interject Drake's penis. I'm going to talk about this.
Tied together with nut
He went from the balls all the way up to the tip. We got to change this conversation immediately.
Okay, so Dave, your birthday's coming up, right? It's the last day at Radio City. How do you celebrate your birthday? I know you have some special surprises during the show, but how do you celebrate
life,
your
though,
birthday?
yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay, after I quit my show, I don't remember how old I was or what, but I remember I was like on the walkabout, and I started riding motorcycles. So I rode my motorcycle like from Ohio, and then I was like in Austin, Texas, which took a long time. And it was my birthday, and I was riding up 6th Street in Austin, and I saw some bar. Pulled the bar over and I walked in. It was like late. It was like maybe 2 a.m. So there wasn't many people there.
I don't guess Chappelle's going to talk about
you have
this.
a microphone. They're like, yeah, you got one in the DJ booth. And I stood in that DJ booth and I did a set. This when Twitter was still like new. And I didn't know that one filled up, buddy.
Oh, because it was tweeting like Dave Chappelle.
You don't believe this? He just in here drinking, talking about crazy stuff. And I probably rocked for like 4 hours that night. One of the best birthdays I can remember recently. Another time I was in Colorado and I ended up doing a show and Common was there visiting his dad and he came and rocked with us. And, it was spontaneous and fun. Yeah, birthdays, my birthday, the way I celebrated was I try to make a memory that I'll treasure. Like my best birthday, I can remember my 16th birthday because I had such a good time.
What was it?
I was in D.C. and a bunch of my brothers surprised me. My brother took me to our old neighborhood. He goes, yeah, man. We're all like, oh, yeah, it was fun. It was like reminiscing and stuff. And then a bunch of our friends from elementary school was sitting in a park bench and surprised me. And I had a show at Comedy Club in D.C. that night. We all went to the Comedy Club. And it was the first time I ever seen him perform. It was fun. And the MC was a guy named Patton Oswalt, who's pretty damn famous now.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, but I remember all these birthdays, comedy is what I like to do on my birthday. I'm doing exactly what I need to be doing.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're living the dream. You are truly living your dream.
Well, the thing is though, but it's not easy. I sincerely make a point. Literally, I make a point to manufacture quality memories because it's the only thing I believe they can't take away from.
Give us a little insight to those parties you've been throwing at a barn in Ohio.
Yeah, he's been buying up.
Bars, other places. Oh my God.
Yeah,
You want orgies. You want orgies.
Yeah.
Not orgies, not orgies.
He's been buying up everything in Yellow Springs,
I'm
Ohio.
talking about how you got signed off on that.
Buying all the business.
party
His dad
is
is a
like
professor there at Antioch College.
We put full production in my neighbor's barn. And we rock out. I got this band. I call the band with no name. Really, it's just a bunch of people I poached from Stevie Wonder. And different artists come through and just rock out in the barn. But you got to understand, where I live, this is the big dance. There's no cell phones in there. None of my shows don't have cell phones. So your margin of error socially is a little wide. If you know that you're not going to get filmed and got you. And people come through.
He lives way out in the country.
Rock, and we've had all kinds of people.
Chance, I think.
Chance rock with us once, Smokes rock with us once, Daylight rock with us in London. Ed Sheeran came by in London right after he done Wembley Stadium, man. And he came to us, we were in a little loft in London. We just rock out, and you get to see people do stuff that you wouldn't normally see them do. Big artists come, it's like there's no ego.
Yeah.
I'm not paying anybody anything. People just
Right out in Yellow Springs, Ohio.
We all just look out for Joe.
The pivotal moment in our relationship right now, Dave Chappelle.
Wow.
You brought up Ed Sheeran, which made me think of Game of Thrones. earlier on the show, I pissed a lot of people off who listen to the program because there's people like, I can't afford HBO, so I don't watch Game of Thrones. And I assaulted people's intellect. I said, look, if you don't watch Game of Thrones, intellectually, you and I are in a different place. And my place is better than yours.
Wow. Yeah. So I know what's coming next.
Dave Chappelle, do you watch Game of Thrones?
Them Thrones.
Oh. Them Thrones.
You watching them Thrones?
Of course I do.
Yes!
But I did not see last night.
Oh,
That's
okay.
fine. That's fine.
So
That's
no
fine.
spoilers.
That's
Yes.
How last night the Dragons?
No,
Yeah.
That's, by the way, that's what Alexa did.
But it's funny. I got on late. I like binge watched and called up because I used to be on the tour bus and there was a couple nerds on my bus that always be talking about it. Man, and you hear bits of their conversation and dragons and all this. I'm like, man, that sounds whack. Yeah, it work. And then I started watching it, man. Yeah, I just got sucked in. It was, you know what I mean?
And then you were chiming about the dragons.
Yeah, then it was like, yeah.
Yesterday, Alexa's dad, my wife's father, wrote her, was like, she was like, Dad, did you watch Game of Thrones yet? He's like, no, I'm at dinner. I didn't see it. Don't spoil it. She was like, damn, the dragons ate Jon Snow. Sad. But it's a special kind of show. I had mixed feelings about Ed Sheeran.
So what am I do?
It wasn't bad.
I didn't care. This is what I care about, Dave. You know a lot of white people. How much, and for people who don't watch Game of Thrones, there's a whole movement about how Game of Thrones really can teach you about white people and the things that motivate them. Right?
Wait, I haven't heard this yet.
There's a whole article. There's a whole article.
What is this article in though? It's
on a black site. It's black
Tail.
Yeah.
Black Tail has an article about it.
No, it's like Root.com, I think.
This is what happened to him just a few days ago. I don't want to do the TMZ one.
Some people say our trade-in process feels too easy.
We don't want to watch the commercial.
It's 100% online.
And dude jumped on the stage and attacked. Came after Chappelle, had a fake gun. They took him around the corner, beat the hell out of him.
Will Smith?
Yeah, Chris Rock said, "Was that Will Smith?" They took him over that corner and kicked the shit out of that guy. Dave said, he's getting stalked right now.
Thank you, son.
Jamie Foxx jumped up there.
He was a trans man.
You jumped on stage, no?
They beat his ass. They're still kicking the shit
Now
out of him.
everybody comes out for the curtain call. Shout out to Jamie Foxx, by the way.
Jamie Foxx
Jamie,
jumped up
where you
and
at?
helped him.
Jamie, hold up. Whenever you're in trouble, Jamie
Jamie
Foxx
Foxx
will
shows
show up
up
in
with
the
the sheriff's hat on.
Nigga, I thought that was part of the show. I don't know what the. I grabbed the back of his head. His hair was spongy, absorbent. Listen, I just want to say, man, I've had an incredible time. This man is an absolute genius. We got to make sure we protect him at all times, man. This is what it's about.
That's Jamie Foxx.
That comes out here, man. This means everything, man. You're a genius. You're a legend. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, and we're not gonna let nothing happen to you, man. That's right. Give it up. This is Lee Show. Wait. I've been doing this 35 years. I just stomped the backstage.
He stomped
I
him.
always wanted to do that. I'm back there squeezing it. I seen Busta Rhymes on it. It's like, that's how you do it, God. Hey, yo, what Busta at?
Can you imagine getting your ass kicked by Chris Rock and Jamie Foxx
Everybody
and Dave
compose
Chappelle?
themselves. I wanted this to be a peaceful moment, and I'm sure now it is.
It looked like Jada was upset. And so Will changes his tune, walks on stage, and smacks Chris Rock in the face at the Oscars. That whole scene, doing that in that manner, in that place, is a great example of what's wrong with the glorification of just being able to go up to someone and smack them in the face.
Like what was it? Remember the baseball game where the old man rushed the pitcher? media is so racist, they all blame the picture. It's my fantasy. I want an old white man to rush me. It's just Rosa Parks.
Comedian Dave Chappelle was assaulted on stage at the Hollywood Bowl Tuesday night by a man who tackled him during his stand-up. Captured clear on camera was the aggressor on a gurney being loaded into an emergency vehicle to be taken to the hospital. Witnesses at the event took to social media saying that the man surged the stage and tackled Chappelle. According to ABC News, Chappelle and the man tussled on the stage for some time before the man ran behind the stage curtain. Security staff found the man within the corner of the stage. Chappelle asked security more than once for them to escort the man from the building. Comedian Chris Rock, who performed earlier within the night, came on stage with Chappelle minutes after the assault and made the joke, "Was that Will Smith?" Los Angeles police later confirmed to Observer News that they did react to an occurrence at the Hollywood Bowl around 10:45 p.m. Chris Rock, who performed earlier in the event last night, was similarly subjected to a violent outburst on stage at the Oscars in March. He came on stage with Chappelle and joked, "Was that Will Smith?" Footage later appears to show the attacker being treated by paramedics for a badly injured arm before he was taken to the hospital in an ambulance. After the assailant attacked Chappelle, Jamie Foxx rushed to the stage in Chappelle's aid. Jamie jokes,
"Should Americans with no degree
we
be
don't
allowed
want
to
to
get
see this guy.
$6,495
He don't even know
from
where
this
he's
government
at. He's probably
education?"
drawing stick man.
"I thought that was part of the show. I didn't know what the..." Chappelle said, "I grabbed the back of that head. His hair was spongy, absorbent." Fox added, "Listen, I just want to say, this man is an absolute genius. We've got to make sure we protect him at all times. For every comedian who comes out here, this means everything. You're a genius. You're a legend. I enjoyed myself thoroughly, and we're not going to let nothing happen to you." Chappelle said, "I've been doing this for 35 years. I just stomped it backstage. I've always wanted to do that." After the attack, Jimmy Carr took a selfie with the fellow comedian and described his Los Angeles show as crazy. Going onto social media, Jimmy Carr tweets, "The Hollywood Bowl show with the legendary Dave Chappelle was crazy. Just happy everyone's okay." Chappelle came under fire last year over jokes about trans people in his Netflix comedy show, The Closer. Number 3, his jokes on Netflix. This move to cancel the comedian began with Dave Chappelle's most recent comedy special on Netflix called The Closer, something that numerous fans have been searching for, but it might have ended with some consequences. The special, the 6th of the last within the Emmy winner's big bucks bargain with Netflix, debuted and immediately stoked the blazes of discussion around transgender women. Chappelle is additionally being denounced for protecting what numerous think to be risky comments by the rapper The
It ain't
Baby
really
and Harry
showing
Potter creator
much,
J.K.
so.
Rowling. In The Closer, Chappelle pronounces that he's joining Rowling and Team Turk.
It ain't really showing much about that attack, except for that they beat the shit out of that guy on the corner of the stage. That's what he gets. But I like Dave Chappelle. He's from my area, so he lives about 30 miles from here. We see him every now and then out and about. There's videos on Dave Chappelle in Dayton, Ohio. You can see where people catch him. He just rides around by himself. He don't bother anybody. But I thought I'd listen to that anyway and just share it and say hi and all that good stuff. Well, I got a day off. My kids woke me up early because they were fighting over pancakes. Is that what you was fighting over, Jada? What was you guys fighting over earlier? Cheese? You don't know what you was fighting over? I'm back here trying to lay down and get some rest on my day off, and you two screaming. I need to get some earplugs. His arm looked really nasty, huh? Dave said, "I just stomped the shit out of somebody backstage." That's what you get. He didn't give no reason as to why he went up after Chappelle. Chappelle is like the most. He's a good activist and comedian. Yeah, they kicked the shit out of him. They fired his ass up. But anyways, I don't really have time to be checking up on. I got things I got to do around the house today. It's good to see you, Stewie. Pancakes. We can all make pancakes now. Oh, they were out here cooking something. And Nicole was up, and I went back there to take a nap to lay down. And as soon as I get to sleep, they're arguing over something out here. It's something in the kitchen waking me up. They do that every weekend. That's all right, though. They can do that if they want to, I guess. Brats. Hey, that's me at a Breaking Benjamin concert in Cincinnati. That Avatar. Yeah. Anyways, peace and chicken grease, y'all. I got things to do. Bye-bye.